So right about now you might be saying, Ken Colt, why are you outside? You're never outside. To which I'd respond, you're right, and my name's not Ken Colt. But I wanted to do something special and different today because right now, these are probably my two favorite Kendamas out there. And you can probably already tell by their very vibrant and distinctive paint schemes. It is the Liam Rauter Pro Model and the Alex Mitchell Pro Model from Sol Kendamas. Both of these Kendamas are full maple construction, so the Tama and the Ken are both maple, and both of them have sticky paint and are on Sol's new one-up shape. So since Liam's model came out before Alex's, let's go over his first. Liam's mod is super cool because it's totally space themed. You can start by at the bottom of the Ken here, it says Liam in the NASA font. Then on the small cup, there's actually an engraving of the Saturn V, which is the original rocket that took the astronauts to the moon. And over on the big cup is an engraving of Spaceman, which is I think it's just a dummy in a car that Tesla or SpaceX launched into the atmosphere. I don't really know the story, to be honest with you, but it's on the big cup. Moving to the Tama, which is connected by this really nice vibrant orange string. On the bottom you have a white ring around the bevel. Then you kind of go up into this really nice blue to dark purple fade. This is actually Sol's first ever fade, which is kind of cool. It starts on a light blue and then goes into a deep purple. It sort of represents going from sky to space. And on the very top you have this massive orange tracking dot around the string hole, and that's supposed to represent the sun, which not only is it a cool like transition, but it also is killer for tracking. This thing is fantastic for tracking, and you'll definitely never lose the bevel. It's really nice. The Tama also features Sol's All-Star bevel, which I think is just kind of a standard now on all their Kendamas. It's just a super wide bevel, which is really nice. It's great because it really is nice for stalls and amazing for spikes. And then on the white stripe going around the Kendama, it has a Latin phrase that I'm gonna try to say. It says gradatim ferociter, which means step by step ferociously. And not only is that a badass saying, it also has a couple personal meanings to Liam, which is really cool that he put that on his pro mod. This is just a really unique Kendama, and it's very personal to Liam, which I really like. All right, I think that touches on everything with the Liam mod. Let's go over to the Alex Mitchell Pro model. Alex Mitchell's mod, unlike Liam's, doesn't have a ton of laser engravings on the Ken itself. It just has this AM logo here on the base of the Ken, but nothing in the big or small cups. Moving on to the Tama, however, it's a very different story, and there's a lot of customization on here. The Tama is connected to the Ken by this really nice teal colored string. Oh, and I forgot to mention, both on the Liam and the Alex mod, the strings are 8 to 10 fingers, which is really nice. It's a great length, so you can trim it to whatever you want. But this string is super gorgeous, and it matches the teal ring around the bevel as well, which is super nice. Starting on the top of Alex's Kendama, there's a very subtle white tracking dot. And then below that are these crazy colorful lines going all over the place. And these are very much inspired by the Tokyo Metro rail system maps. These are actually the maps they have at the train stations in Tokyo. Alex has had a lot of great memories going to Japan and traveling. And the train also sort of represents his journey. He lives in a small town in, I think, Georgia, if my memory serves. Georgia? He lives in a small town, and it's really cool that he got to travel all the way to Japan just because of Kendama, so we wanted to show that journey and have that sort of represented in his Kendama. Below this thick red stripe, you have this really beautiful white pearlescent paint. It's got a bunch of sparkles in it, and it's kind of hard to see or notice unless you're shining it perfectly in the sunlight, but it's really gorgeous, and I hope Sol uses this paint more on future Damas, because I really like it. So I was kind of worried when Sol announced they were making a new shape, because I liked the original. I thought the Sol shape was fantastic, and I was afraid they were going to mess it up. Not the case. The reason why the one-up shape is currently my favorite shape is because it feels like they took the original Sol shape and they just refined it, and it feels perfect. Now, this is not going to be the case for everyone, obviously. I always stress that everyone should try every Kendama they can, because everyone's hand is different, everyone likes different things, and that's what makes Kendama awesome, is that there are hundreds of different shapes you can try. The one-up shape literally takes the Sol shape and just one-ups it in every way, and it really does. The cups are a bit bigger, the stall points are massively improved, and it just feels much better and refined. It really feels like an improvement, and I didn't think they could do it, but here we are. If I had to compare it to another shape, I would probably say it just feels like a Sol shape mixed with a shift shape. And those were previously like my two favorites. So this combined like, it makes perfect sense why this is my favorite. It feels so good and like a perfect mix between those two. They really struck the balance between too big and too small, and it really is the perfect size. We're seeing a very big trend of massive Kens, I feel like, with the Sleigh Dog 2, the Lotus, the new no jumper shape. And I'm not saying that those are bad, but they're very big. I mean, on paper, the one-up shape isn't very impressive. It doesn't boast the biggest cups. It doesn't have a big Tama. It doesn't have the largest bevel out there. So why would you buy it? Well, that's easy, because it's fantastic. So recently, Honed Media, which I absolutely love, everyone over there is fantastic and they put out great content, they did a review on the Soul one-up shape. And at the very bottom, it says, however, it's still a maple Ken with sticky paint. And that kind of sounded negative. Why? That's all a Kendamas should be. I mean, you can add more things, different wood types, different paints, whatever, but it shouldn't have to be more than that to be a good kendama. I think we're seeing a big sort of trend right now with everything's bigger, larger cups, larger shapes, larger tamas, biggest bevels. Everything is just bigger. And I think we're hitting a point where it's almost too big. And that's why I think I really like the one-up shape. They just kind of stuck to what they know. They took the Soul shape and just improved it. Like, no gimmicks, no nothing. They improved the stalls, they improved the size, they improved the feel. Everything is just a bit better. All it is a kendama that plays really well. There's no gimmicks. There's nothing new and trendy they're trying to throw at you to sell this thing. It's just good. And that's why it's currently my favorite shape. It's just fantastic.
Put it on the leash. Put it on the leash. Put it on the leash. Well, put it on. Yeah.
Wow, this is an exciting video already.